Uh, Thanks. Okay, so for several years now, I've had a fondness and interest into B-movies, specifically ranging from late 70s to early 80s, and also the advertisement, the posters of these movies. Rather than current movie posters that just use the same color palette, using opposite colors on the color spectrum, which all kind of blend together, these posters have always stood out in my mind, and I wanted to know why. Okay, so first, simply what is a B movie? Um, like most people, I thought I'd start with just the definition. So the term B movie is used to distinguish a film from an A movie. That first section isn't exactly helpful, but an A movie is a high budget, highly promoted film, and a B movie is the lower budget stuff. To a certain extent, I agree with this. B movies do have a lower budget, but I also didn't immediately think this was why they stood out. I thought that B movies have a specific style to them, and it can't just be about the budgetary restrictions. So I thought I'd have a look at the overall box office success of these movies due to their advertisement. So I chose these three movies to focus on. Final Exam, Graduation Day, and The Evil Dead, probably the most famous B movie of all. They're all horror movies, all B movies, and actually all from 1981. They all had relatively the same marketing. They were all hand-painted posters. They all had TV spots, and the only difference is that Graduation Day handed out pins at their LA premiere saying that I survived Graduation Day. So the estimated budget for Final Exam was $374,000, dollars, which isn't very much at all. And the only reason they got this was from a deal they made with Jack Daniels, which ended up actually hurting the film due to the cast of the film every night getting drunk and then looking terrible on film the next day. The film grossed actually 70 million worldwide, which is incredible for their budget, and 1,300,000 domestically. At a time when the average ticket price was only $2.38, and due to them all coming out in the same year, it would be the same for all these movies. The estimated budget for Graduation Day was $250,000. Again, they got that in an odd way. They went literally around to different cinemas asking if they would put up money for the film to be made, and then they would play the film at those cinemas first. The film ended up grossing $23,894,000. This deal they made with the cinemas actually ended up hurting the film because they had to release it at those cinemas first before moving on to a wider release, and due to critics refusing to cover slasher movies at the time, hoping that would kill them off, it didn't make as much money as it should have. Evil Dead finally, estimated budget of $350,000, and it grossed to $2,400,000 domestically, so that's incredible. At this point, I wanted to move on and focus on another three movies, all with the all B movies, all the same genre, all from around about the same time period, but with photographic posters. Unfortunately, I couldn't do this. I wanted to move on, talk about Ollie Moss and how he's a man who designs these anniversary posters for movies, so he completely understands how the classics are designed, and he talks about how these angles are used greatly in posters, how it makes the posters not only more dynamic and interesting, but also, especially with horror, gives it a sense of something's not wrong. I couldn't do this because it turns out that it is just budgetary why these posters look different. Photographic posters during the time was very difficult to make them look really nice. So it actually worked out cheaper just commissioning an artist to paint a poster. That being said, I do think that there's something special about this compared to the photographic poster, even though the poster is the original. It does look nice because the film had a higher budget, but there is still something to be said about the hand-painted posters. In conclusion, I didn't really get much from this. I just found some more interesting information about B-movies themselves and how they were made. But it turns out posters were literally just through budgetary reasons. That's it.